Am I on?
You're live now.
I'm live, so people can see me, like, what's going on here.
Yeah.
Weekly show, that's us, right? Oh, there we go. All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Sewing Badly with Brent. We got a lot going on in the shop today, so we're probably just going to do shop news, take any questions, and call it a day. So we're not going to be here very long just because we've got a few different things we're working on. And so there's that. I didn't even pick up my mess from last week. Did I?
You don't usually do.
I know. Well, it's off camera. Oh, it's kind of off camera. But people can focus on is that Heathcliff or Garfield?
That's Heathcliff.
Well, I didn't know. Well, I knew that you were a Garfield fan. I knew it was Heathcliff, but I was like, maybe did he draw that thinking it's Garfield?
I'm a Heathcliff fan.
You're a Heathcliff fan? Okay. Anyway, so just a quick why we just thought we'd get on, say hello to our fans, and and do some shop news. We are not going to do a show next week. My mom is going to be in town, and she's actually doing a class on Wednesday. So I'm not going to plan on doing a show because it's going to be kind of hard. I don't know the logistics of that. Maybe we'll throw something on real quick for fun if my mom wants to do something, but don't count on it. So I'm going to tell you right now, there's no show next week. If we do end up doing it, you can always catch the rerun, I suppose. The other thing, check out the video we posted yesterday with the tutorial on a quilt. And here's the quilt. So if you want to make this quilt, check out our tutorial that we posted yesterday. It's on there, right, Eddie? Did you see
Yeah,
it?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna
Make a thumbnail for it?
yeah once.
A better thumbnail than what I threw on there?
Yeah.
So that's so like I said, if you like this quilt, it doesn't take much. The center is just the two panels, and then the sashing is a yard of fabric. The tutorial that's online does not include the borders, but I didn't think you all needed to know how to put borders on. The important thing was the measurements for the middle. So that's something that, like I said, it's online. I really liked it. So we're hoping to do more of those type videos for you too. So you'll start to see more of the tutorial type stuff popping up probably, and a little bit more kind of edited pre-stuff. But like I said, did like this trick rack that you cut out. Oh, yes. Well, I think I still have it if you want, Gene. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, so I can, but I'm not sure what it would be good for. Anyway, that's a whole other story. So that, like I said, that was posted yesterday. Check it out. I think it's 8 minutes long. Took me 45 minutes to make that center, so it gives you an idea. The other thing is we got some more Christmas fabric in, because Christmas. Because it's almost June, so why not Christmas, right? And it's just with some real basic kind of, just nice. It's more wintry than Christmas, I guess, because this has kind of got your silver and gold. Isn't that a song? Silver and gold decorations on every Christmas tree, right? You're not thinking that wasn't awesome? I don't have a career in singing.
You could.
Okay. Complete side note for anybody watching this. If, like me, you grew up back when they made real music, and you listen to like the new stuff, and you hear all this auto-tune, you're like, everything's auto-tune these days. We can auto-tune anybody. And Eddie was like, that ain't true. And of course, Eddie has the setup to do stuff. So we decided to auto-tune me so that he could show to me that auto-tune.
Did you show this?
Yeah, because I put the binding on last week.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. So I was like, you can auto-tune anybody. And Eddie's like, no, you can't. And we had this whole discussion, and he said, so let's prove it. So we went and recorded me. What did we sing? Was it some Guns N' Roses song, right?
I can't remember.
And he tried to auto-tune it, and it was awful. So I got a lot of respect even for auto-tuned acts now. And that was what also convinced me I will never be a vocal artist, because that's just not me. So here's another, just kind of just a nice blender. This will work with a lot of stuff, but it comes into this collection. Here's the one that kind of makes it Christmassy, only because, well, they're Christmas ornaments, and it says joy. Not that you can't have ornaments and joy all winter, but this is kind of a little bit more Christmas specific. And then this one here, this is another one that's really nice. Is that there? And I think there's actually a project for this, though. I can't remember what. I know that I have to look it up. I haven't gotten that far yet. This came in yesterday. And the only reason I think that is because, you see, there's this tree panel, which I should probably cut this so you can see the panel. And seeing how we're, like I said, we're not spending a ton of time today. The least I can do is cut this panel for you. Hope everybody had a good weekend. You know, the long weekend to start off summer right. We went camping, and then I felt like an old man when I got up because I forgot how, even with a good camping setup, it's not like sleeping in your own bed. So, you know, you wake up and you got like a new pain like in your hip or in your back, and you're like, why do I have this? And then you're like, oh, I was born over 40 years ago. That's why I feel this way. And then I get home, and Eddie's like, have you ever thrown a rock? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you should just pick up a giant rock and throw it. And so that was a whole thing. We spent cornhole and rock throwing on Memorial Day. It was very exciting. Where did that come from, Eddie? The whole, let me just throw a rock over a log. Did you like see that somewhere, or you just like woke up one morning and said, this should be a thing?
What? No, strongmen throw atlas stones over the log, I think.
Oh, okay. So it's based on like a strongman.
Yeah, but the atlas stones are like a lot bigger, I think.
Well, I would think so.
Rounder and not jagged.
Yeah, well, it was a. And then I mowed the lawn yesterday where you were doing your rock throwing, and there's like these giant divots. And just like, I have like these giant divots in my lawn that I got to fill in because somebody was throwing rocks.
Well, I
Or-
can make them deeper.
You could throw up some more.
Yeah.
Or we could throw it all over the lawn and compact it evenly. So here's the panel. So there is a I know that there's a project that goes with this that uses those coordinates to kind of make this panel into something, but it's very kind of Christmassy. What's it say? Oh, Christmas tree. Oh,
I
Christmas
guess
tree.
that makes it officially a Christmas
It
thing.
does. So that's that. The Highland Games throw stones, Eddie. So maybe you should go compete in the Highland Games.
I don't think I'd compete very well.
Is the Highland Games also where they like throw the telephone poles?
I don't know.
Have you seen that? They like run around in a skirt with this giant log and they toss it. Anyway, we're like completely off base today, but that's just the kind of day it is.
Wait,
What
it's in
can-
New Hampshire. I just
yeah, they're up in the lake.
I
When's
just
it
assumed
happening this year? We should go. You should compete.
September 15th.
You've got time to train, Eddie.
I'll think about it.
I can see you like running around in a little skirt, little plaid skirt, throwing stones.
I might,
Okay.
I might do that. I don't know.
The Tabors, yes, that's the Tabors.
I just assumed it sounded like something that would happen in Scotland, so I assumed it was there.
Scotland is like savage. You like start looking at history. The Scots were like, they were like savage,
Yeah.
like old school. Like you didn't want to cross Hadrian's Wall and deal with the Scots. It was just that's why the Romans built the wall, so the Scots would leave them alone. I mean, crazy history.
Gene and John want to see you in a kilt.
You want to see the kilt? Maybe I should get a kilt and I could start like an OnlyFans
Maybe we could both join the Highland Games.
and then put on kilts.
I think.
I could do it, yeah. And I could play my little my flute, be a little piper, little Scottish piper. There'd be nothing little about me as a Scottish piper, though. Anyway, we are way out of left field today. I'm hoping you're all enjoying the show because that's pretty much all I have with some new fabric and some shop news. We do have, like I said, we don't have a lot on the calendar right now because of vacations and stuff. We do have a class scheduled for next Wednesday. From starting at 10, probably going to run most of the day. My mom's going to be in town. She's doing a little Scrap Busters class. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we still have a couple seats left. Sign up for that sooner than later if you're interested. The other thing as well is that we also have Thursday nights. We are going to be staying open late on Thursday nights to do like kind of evening open shows. If that's something you're interested in as well, sign up for that online ahead of time because if Thursday afternoon rolls around, I got nobody signed up, we're not hanging out. But if we do have people signed up, we'll be happy to stay. So if that's something you're interested in, to hang out with the open. So I do have a couple ladies that come in every other Thursday or so. So you wouldn't be alone most of the time. But if it's something you're interested in, get a couple friends together, plan on hanging on a Thursday evening. So that's on its way too. Oh, Gene has a tartan. I think our family has a tartan.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, flannel, like plaid. Plaid is what actually comes from Scotland, and a lot of it actually indicates what your clan's from, like the different colors and the different lengths in between and all that. So if you know your history, you would know you could like see somebody's kilt that's made from their tartan, or they got the big sash thing, and they would know right away if they should shoot you or or if you're their friend. It was like a way of yeah, that's like these feuds would happen because, and the tartan was just is like the family crest, and we have one because on your on grandma's side, or Grandpa Joe, I believe, is Scottish. You ever hear that song by Nirvana, Grandpa Joe?
No.
Mom and Dad went to a show, dropped me off at Grandpa. No, I'm like in a singing mood today. Anyway. I'd have to look up. I wonder what our clan would be. But everything on Grandpa's side comes from, France.
Yeah.
Though I think if you go back far enough, I think Prussia, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Family history is interesting. But that's, yes, so I guess we should find our clan so we can get the proper colored skirt for us.
All right.
There's probably some Scottish people watching around. It's a kilt. It ain't a skirt. Have you ever watched? I have nothing today. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out what we were going to do today. I did some research, but then I realized that it was just one of those days. We had so much going on, so much going on that I thought we'd just do a quick shop news and be on our day. But now that I'm sitting here, I'm feeling like rambling for a little bit, and I should probably stop wasting everybody's time. But as you get to know me and Eddie better, anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so.
New England Shop Hop, that is coming up at the end of the summer. We will be getting the New England Shop Hop magazines in here, so if you're looking to purchase those, we will have those in here. I don't have a date on those yet. The emails are still going around. But if anybody that's been following that knows that there's a big kind of multi-state New England Shop Hop that's happening the end of this summer. It's set up by a crew out of the Midwest. They've done a lot of like the Midwest shop hops, and they're like, hey, let's do one in New England. It's really it's going to be really well organized. They got a lot of prizes set up for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. They've got it broken down by regions. I can't remember what the website is. Keep an eye out for it, though. The New England Shop Hop. I think it's like All New England Shop Hop or something like that. We'll try and get more info out on that as we can. We will have the magazines and stuff here for it as well. So if it is something you're interested in, that's a thing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at the accents. Okay, so you have to put on the subtitles when watching Scottish BBC shows. Yes. There's a great YouTube channel. Oh gosh, Count Dankula. He's like Scottish, and the dude is hysterical to listen to. In fact, I was going to use one of his shows to inspired me to do the whole Garden Gnome Liberation Front thing. He's got a whole 40 minutes on that. But yes, I love the Scottish accent. And then if you like accents. Oh, Sesame Street intro. If you really want to have a good laugh at accents, there's a fantastic movie made back in the late 90s. Is it late 90s, early 2000s, Eddie?
I don't.
When did Snatch come out?
I don't watch Snatch.
Well, it's one of Brad Pitt's, because I'm sure many of the people watching this are of the demographics that remember Brad Pitt in the early days. I mean, he's still a good-looking dude, but in his early days, he was a hunk back in the day. And one of his early movies is Snatch, which is a fantastic movie. If you like accents, you should watch that because you will not understand a word that he says the entire time. And it's fantastic. One of my all-time favorite movies. Not sure I can recommend that. Am I allowed to recommend movies that are borderline on the taste side of things?
I don't know.
Because, if you recommend a movie to somebody and you like see those bad movies that people watch, and somebody recommends it, you're like, oh, you're one of those people that liked that movie.
Rhonda says it was a funny movie, so I think it's so you can recommend.
Okay, recommend it. Yeah. Well, Rhonda's our people too, Yeah. She watches us, and so I'm worried about the normies that watch us. They'd be like, Snatch. Now, Rhonda, you watch Snatch. Did you watch Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? Well, I see. That was what I was thinking of when I started doing my Scottish accent. Was I married an axe murderer? Look at the head. It's got its own satellite system. And that's all I can think of because my uncle once showed up. I'm rambling. This has got nothing to do with sewing today. If you were tuned in today to watch sewing, it ain't happening. So, I have my Uncle Dennis showed up. No, story time. We're going to just do story time today. So, my parents, before they moved out west, had purchased some land off of my grandfather and built our home, their home, because by this time I'd moved out. That's when they got the nice home with the brook running through it. You know, boot the kids out and then build the dream home. So they bought the home. Where the house was built was, if you're from Claremont and you're old school, you'll know where the 8-footer was at. So this was always interesting. So the house is there, and they're building the house. So at the time, it's a trailer. We called it the Green Mile because it was this old green mobile home. And we're sitting in there, and Eddie had just been born, and he's like in his diapers, and we're hanging out. And my Uncle Dennis showed up, and Uncle Dennis is one of those very free spirit type people. I'm told that I've got some of his genetics because, well, if you have met Uncle Dennis and the rest of the brothers, you'd understand. So he just shows up sometimes. This is the same uncle that took the Vespa across to Chicago back in the late '60s, early '70s. So he shows up one day. He knocks on the door. First words out of his mouth when I open the door, because he sees Eddie over my shoulder, and he's like, "Check out the cranium on that boy." And that's all I could think of when he said that was, "I married an axe murderer," when the guy went on about the size of the dude's head. Yes, that is true. He probably did make up most of that. So that's my story about Eddie's big head. So sometimes you may actually hear me call him Pumpkinhead. That's where that comes from. His head's not as big as it used to be because his body caught up with it. And his fro he usually keeps well coiffed now, so he doesn't have the whole look. But I'm sorry, Eddie.
What?
This is going out on the internet. Everybody's going to know your story.
That's all right.
You're going to meet some beautiful girl someday, and she's going to see this and like, "Oh, you got a big head with a giant fro." And you're
I
going to
feel like 30 years from now in my Nardwar interview, he's going to bring it up.
The Nardwar?
Yeah.
What's that?
Nardwar, he brings up random stuff about people that they don't even remember. He's a funny guy. He interviews a lot of people.
Okay. But anyway, so Eddie had a giant head as a child, and my Uncle Dennis, it was just like I said, it wasn't like, "Hi, how are you? Where's your dad?" or anything like that. The first words out of his mouth when I opened the door, "Look at the cranium on that kid." It was awesome. And the 8-foot, it was fun too at the 8-foot where my parents' house was. Again, this is like old school, like towny local stuff, because we would just get random random people show up with like their grandkids and be like, "Is it all right if we swim in the 8-footer? Because we used to swim there all the time as kids." And my dad was always like, "Oh yeah, cool, go check it out." Of course, it's like 3 feet deep now. It's not 8 feet. But I mean, we grew up swimming in the 8-footer. But that's like old Claremont stuff. I guess that's stuff you could use for stealing identities too. Do you know what the 8-footer is? I'm not a robot because I know what the 8-footer is. Anyway, Redwater Brook Road in Claremont, New Hampshire, legendary. Anyway, okay. Okay, Gene says we talk about our son's ear. That sounds like there's so much story to go there. The kid's ear. I would say I talk about Eddie's ear because sometimes I question if they work, given the music that he used to subject me to as he was finding himself. Some of his music choices are questionable, but some of it's stuck. Your post shoegaze stuff is actually kind of interesting. But he still tells me that Kanye West is one of the genius artists of our time, and I don't know that I believe that.
Maybe.
I learned something the other day. Okay, complete side note again. He sampled Daft Punk.
Yes.
Which was a sample of another
Yes.
song. So he sampled a sample.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you sample the original song?
I don't know. He's allowed to do what he wants.
Okay. Anyway, there's a story beating up his nose. Beating up his nose. And I'm starting to feel like I was a good parent, or not a good parent. I didn't have all that drama. I don't think my kids ever lost anything in their nose. Did you ever lose anything in your nose?
No, I remember you told me the story about the foam football.
About my friend?
Yeah.
I did have a friend whose little brother had a chunk of Nerf. To this day, I don't know the whole story. that somehow got put up his nose, and it spent a few days there because, and nobody knew what was there. It's just his nose hurt and all this, and he looks like it's starting to get swollen. So they go to the doctor, and the doctor pulls out like a Nerf football out of his navel cavity. It was like all black and gross by that time. It was yeah, that's gross. Macaroni cheese noodle up his nose. Well, that's impressive. Okay. You ever get somebody laughing so hard that stuff comes out their nose?
Not in a while.
Not in a while. We did that once, and we were eating Cheerios, and so my buddy had like milk and Cheerios coming out of his nose. That was really funny. Anyway, all right. So this is kind of fun. I should do this. Let's completely get off the tangent. Show more often. Anyway, what other story should we share? So we can embarrass you,
I don't know.
or should we put a shout out to all the grandmas out there to find you somebody that we can embarrass you in front of? Giving you a hard time, Eddie. Eddie, just for all you matchmakers out there, Eddie is single, and he does work out.
Those are two true statements.
Well, and he's also a musician, because the ladies love a musician. Anyway, sprinkle pepper in his nose to make him sneeze it out. Yes, okay. Any good comments? I think we should. I feel like we should wrap this up. I feel like we're just rambling at this point. But if people are having fun, who am I to stop it, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I was like, oh, we're going to do this and get back to doing stuff. But then it's like, anyway.
You don't want to work?
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's summertime, but there's a million things I got to do. I got to get quilts trimmed up. We are caught right up on quilts. As a side note, so if you got something you need to get done, bring it on in. We're caught up for the most part there. Open sewing, like I said, because there's no classes on the schedule necessarily. If you and some friends want to get together, feel free to give me a call. We can set it up, and you can all come hang out in the classroom, with the nice machines and stuff. I do have like the first Tuesday of the month. I do have for the next couple months, next 3 months. I do have a group that's coming in, so there's not going to be open sewing on Tuesdays. But like I said, if you want to get a group together and plan on just coming and hanging out, give us a call. We'll line it up because it's here. We have the resources. It's here. It's a lot of fun, and the more the merrier. Anyway, that being said, should I take us out, Eddie?
I think so.
You think so? Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was like I said, it was just going to be a quick shop news type thing. We're not going to we're not going to have anything next week just because of like I said, we got the class and stuff, and my mom's in town and trying to get this all worked in. It's going to make it kind of interesting. But we should be back the week after, and keep an eye out. Like I said, we're going to start trying to drop more edited videos so that you can, more content that's quilting specific instead of talking about Eddie's head. But anyway, thanks for watching. Sew on and be excellent to each other.